What's happening, y'all? This is Blaze back with another quick video from around the shop here at Can Do Garage. I should have started this video a little earlier, but this is for all. This happens to be a 2001 Lincoln, but it's for all these Lincolns that are wet in the floorboard. A lot of times this is the problem, but I've already got this thing loosened up. But I'll show you where all the bolts and stuff go. We put it back, but basically your problem is going to be right here, and this is the passenger side, the cowl right there. You loosen this up and get it out the way, and you see where it goes inside. But I'll show you where your problem is. It's right here on the back of this thing. If you look, you see part of this seal is actually missing, but you see where it's all cracked up and it's hard. So this actually, where all this is missing, is actually the back, where it sits up and all the water comes down the windshield and hits this right here, and it goes right past that seal and right inside your car. So anyways, the fix for that is you just get a scraper, which I'll show you real quick. Oh, see, back, scraper real quick. So basically it's not going to be very easy to do holding this camera, but you just want to scrape this old gasket off, and I'm going to get back when I get it off. And voila, now we have it all scraped off. And what I did is I went a step farther and I sprayed it down with brake cleaner, and then took my air blower and blew it off to make sure it was good and clean and ready for the silicone we're about to add. So then all you do is get you out a little bit of silicone here, and this is just something that actually came in a I rebuilt the rear end, and it come with this huge tube of silicone to make a gasket for the pumpkin. That was crazy, but anyway, so I've been using it for everything ever since. All right, so I'll show you what it looks like in a second. And bing, I feel like I need some kind of music to when this thing comes back all nice and done. So as you can see, I put the bead about an 1/8 to 3/16 thick, and even where I had to double layer it over here on this side, it's like a 1/4 inch thick. Don't be afraid to use silicone, man. It's cheap. Silicone is cheap. Doing the job twice is expensive. So anyways, I put a good bead on there. Definitely not afraid to use it. I'm going to get this thing flipped over and set back in the car. There is one thing I want to show you though. It's when you're taking it out. When this thing is going in right here where it goes underneath, it is a little bit tricky because you've got those two studs, that stud and that stud right there sticking up, that actually go in those two holes. So you're going to have to work that thing in there, and what I did is I just kind of forced it under and then moved it around, or move it over the top of the holes, and then it'll fall down on there. But you got to be careful about your silicone. So let's take a look at that in a second. Alright y'all, I quit being lazy and went and got my tripod, so maybe you'd quit feeling like you were on the Titanic on a bad trip or something. So now y'all can watch me struggle and get my tail kicked, or maybe just watch it work out. Probably not, because we're on camera. Okay, so you lift this up pretty high and get this stuck way in. Well, actually I told you wrong. Feed it into the back side first, then lift it up and try to get it down on the studs. There you go, and then you can set this back down, but be careful because you got your cable coming through here. So try to ease this down back into place. Oh yeah, beautiful, and actually worked out very well. So now that seal is right here, and see, this is where that water comes down. Make sure you can see that. Yes, you can see it. Alright, excellent. So I was saying, all that water runs down and hits here, and it goes right there on top of this and runs right in through here and through your drain in there on the floor. So that's where all that water gets in at when it rains really hard. So now just line those up, and you got 5 bolts up here in the top. You got the 2 down inside here, and then you got 2 way back inside there. Well, kind of way back in there. I can't get my fingers in there to start them, so I'll start them with the ratchet. Alright, now I make it a good practice to never tighten anything until I have all the screws in. So, which that technically all those screws were it, but I'll put the 2 nuts on also, and then I'll go back and make sure that all of them are at least started pretty good. So now that I got the 4 started, I'll go ahead and tighten this one. And you know, you want to be careful, man. These are just little screws going in plastic, so you're just trying to pull it down tight enough to get that silicone to match in place. So that's that. That's all there is to that. Also, another thing too, while you're in here, this is where the drain going out is. There's a little flap. This thing was completely loaded with crap. So while you're in here, make sure you check that also. Put your cover piece back on. I'll show you real quick. There's 2 screws. One here. Well, you'll see where they go. Things always go so much more difficult when it's on camera. But you got little clips here in the front, so don't miss those. Make sure you get those clipped in like they're supposed to go. And if you get those clipped in, then your screws should just line right up in the holes like they're supposed to. And actually you got 3 clips up here. Alright. Okay. Now, these are just long plastic screws. One goes right here, as you can see. I must be missing the hole somewhere. Oh, well, I guess it'll just push right in. It's got the screws out, but it just pushes right in. So, there you have it. You got 1 screw in the corner, 1 screw right there, little plastic screws. Forgot to put the rubber piece back on the seal for the hood there. And there's just this rib right here on the top. That's all it does, it just kind of guides along that rib. It sticks right on there. It's kind of like zipping up a baggie. Once you get it going right, it's in there. Alright, thanks for watching.